I'm a little late this morning to recording because I have paid some bills for the hotels in Israel, and I think it's in the beginning of August at least. I don't know the day. Maybe the 1st or the 2nd August 2022, and I live in Sweden, and my name is Eva Virginius, and as I live in an area where it's not crime going on, but it's hidden crime going on, and this is an official podcast, I can't talk about the money, so these people that is living in my city think that I have money at home. But I have faith, so I pay the bills for the hotels, so I don't store any money in my home or close to me, and I have only the money that is to live on, that when all the bills are paid. That's only, and I have the faith that I am going to come to Israel, so I pay the hotel rooms, and just now I have paid for 1 month in Israel, and I have 1 month left to pay for, and that make sense now. I tell you sometimes that time will tell, and time have tell now that the angels heaven have told us that we should store food at home to store, so we don't need to buy every week or every month, and that makes sense today, because as I have to pay the bills for the hotel, and I have paid the airline ticket to Israel, and those money I eat on what I have stored up now, so it makes sense what they were saying, and when they say from heaven, it's not only for me, it's for you also. So in that way, where they were saying that you should store up, that means store up in the way that is for you to do it. What you have for, like if you have some problem with money that disappeared, that you don't know where they are going, but you can store up food at home that you can, like cans, those that you can have for a long time. And when they started to say that to me, when I started this podcast in October 2020, and then they come through maybe in January 2021, and they told us to store for other days to come. So I don't say it's a bad days to come for me because I'm going to Israel, so that's good days. But that makes sense for me now that I eat on what I have stored up, so I don't need to pay any money for food. A little money, but not like before. I I have a full refrigerator of food that I need to eat now because it start to be old. Refrigerator it doesn't store food forever. It's some like things that is fat, grease in. You have to eat it up in a half year. Like if you have cookies like that or chocolate in your refrigerator, you have to eat it up after 6 months after that you have bought it, and maybe earlier. Yes, I can store chocolate. I'm not so much into chocolate, but sometimes I want to take chocolate. It's like coffee. I drink coffee maybe every once a week, like that, and that's maybe it's about with chocolate, so I can store it in the refrigerator, and so I have paid for 1 month staying at those expensive hotels in Israel. And I am not sure that I go to stay in Jerusalem. Just now I have paid for to stay in Jerusalem 1 month, but I don't know what I will hear from heaven where I'm going. This morning was it. This morning it have been some days now that they're talking about condoms in sexual activity, that about talking about condoms, and I understand why they are talking. They're talking like about that young people start to have condoms in their sexuality. But I understand that is to read behind the lines is that it's about this monkeypox, and those monkeypox is that you get it from sexual activity, and it is to go into number two, not go in on a girl in that way. You'd get it inside where you have the food waste coming out, so they do commercial now for condoms. It's not in the commercial, but they do commercial by talking about it, discussing it, and it's these hide agenda things that they think media doesn't. Media, they think that we are so very stupid. We that watch and read and listen, that we are stupid. But it's going to go raise this in many countries about condoms to have it, and that is now today is it very important because of all these homosexual men get this monkey pox, and not ordinary people that have the sexuality like before. It's about the homosexual people. And of course, you need a condom if you do these lust things with people that you don't know. And it can be people that you don't know, but you live with them, and you don't know what they are doing and what they have doing. So if you are concerned about to get disease or make a girl pregnant, that's also important to have condom then. But in my case, I tell you my life experience as an example of things that I couldn't take a condom from a man because I have allergy for this plastic things, and so that was impossible. So I say that it's not everyone that can use condom, and you that can't have that, you need to be very sure who you are with. Of course, as I am talking from God, is it most of all that we need to be married to have sexuality, but that is not the world. I'm talking to the world. I'm not talking to you that is in God and know God and what God's will are. I'm talking to the world, that you need to know who you are going to bed with. It doesn't matter that you live together, maybe for a long time. You need to be sure that they are not running out with other men or other women, whatever you have for a partner. So be careful out there. It's not right to make babies that doesn't have a real family around them. Of course, it's not about being married, but to have a comfort upgrowing childhood is not a baby is not a garbage. It's something you have to take care of and be responsible for, or else it will be very bad for you that day when you are in heaven, going up in heaven and in the heavenly court. But of course, you that think like it doesn't matter that I run away from to pay the money for the kids I make. You don't care what happened to you in your afterlife. Of course not. So I only want to say that to you, even if you don't think in that way. I'm talking about that you don't care about afterlife, that you don't care if you don't go to heaven or wherever you are going. And so it's my duty to talk to you from God. And then is it on you if you want to say yes or no. I can't force you to do anything. I can't force you to think whatever you want to think. It's not about that. It's my duty is to tell you, and what you do with what I tell you, that's on you. I have done what I should do, and that's in everything I'm talking about in my podcast. You can deny it or say yes to it. You can think whatever you want to think. It's not my responsible. My responsible is to tell you what God is telling me, what heaven tell me, what the Most High is telling me. Whatever you have the name for, the most highest one, the first love we should have. It doesn't matter, because God knows our heart, and God's spirit knows your spirit. If you have a living spirit in you, or if it's laying there with not giving any response to God's spirit when it's touched you and you don't feel anything, that you can be either way. You can have a living spirit, and for the spirit to not go into sleep, you need to feed it. You need to come to know God, the Most High, heaven. You need to feed your spirit to come closer and closer and closer to know the truth. The spirit is the truth, and you have the truth inside you if you feed it. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Maybe I have something coming to me for this evening to talk about. I don't know just now, but here and now, I'm done with this episode. So God bless you, and thank you for listening.